A pleasant good evening and welcome to the Wolverena, the Turtle Creek home of the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And tonight it's home to a huge WPIAL 5A Allegheny 9 matchup between the West Allegheny Indians and the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Woodland Hills 7-1 on the season, undefeated, 6-0 in Allegheny 9 play. Meanwhile, West Allegheny is 7-0 on the year. They are also undefeated in Allegheny 9 play, 6-0 on the year within the conference. The Wolverines come off of a 31-27 victory at Moon last Friday night, while West Allegheny defeated Hampton in Imperial 38-3. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you all across the Woodland Hills Football Network for this huge game that will go a long way in deciding the Allegheny 9 conference champion. And Fred, as we talked about it in the radio pregame show, the Wolverines have taken on this West Allegheny club twice in the past 2 years, and they were very, very memorable football games.
Yeah, the game up at West Allegheny a couple years ago was very exciting, went into overtime, and Woodland Hills had to come back in that ball game as well, being down late. They were able to rally and get the score tied at the end of regulation, and the kicker, number 22, who's still on the team, DJ Opsagnik, kicked the what I call the walk-off extra point to end that ball game.
Let's talk about last week, Fred, where the Wolverines were able to overcome some adversity themselves, and I think that was something pivotal as Woodland Hills advances in this season. You know, last week against Moon and then 2 weeks ago against North Hills, the Wolverines faced some adversity and were able to overcome it for the first time in a long time. Looking back over the past couple of years, Woodland Hills faced adversity and kind of wilted under that adversity. Conversely, the last 2 weeks, they didn't do that. They rose to the challenge.
Yeah, they seem to have thrived in these last 2 weeks while they were down. I mean, that last drive, well, I actually can't really say last drive because it was just a one-play drive where Daniel Jones hit Avram Abramovitz on basically a post pattern, a 7-step post pattern, and then Abramovitz did the rest by running right through 2 Moon Tigers on his way to the end zone. Again, it just goes to show that these guys will not quit at any point during the ballgame.
Let's talk about West Allegheny, a great football team, Fred, and they are just absolutely very, very dangerous. They have a great defense, and their offense is terrific as well.
The key really is their defense, letting up only 4.5 points per game, having 3 shutouts in a row. You know, the Woodland Hills offense certainly has their work cut out for them today, but again, you know, you have all these athletes all over the field on both sides of the field. So my guess is it's going to come down to what's going to happen in the trenches between the offensive and defensive lines.
Let's talk about the defensive line, where last week we saw them struggle at times, but at the end of the football game, they put absolute punishing pressure on the Moon Tiger quarterback.
The one thing I noticed about the defensive line for Woodland Hills last week is they're starting to get adjusted to the screen pass, which really bit the Woodland Hills Wolverines in the previous 2 games, or game and a half, I should say. They really locked down at the end of that game, seeing the screen passes, and then at the end of the ball game, putting a lot of pressure on the Moon Tiger quarterback.
One player that is absolutely fantastic at recognizing that screen is Tyrell Barlow. Now, Barlow had returned from an offseason leg injury and has absolutely done wonders for this defensive line.
Yeah, he really stepped up last week in the ballgame, especially late, to make some nice plays and really shutting down the passing game for the Moon Tigers late in the ballgame.
The officials just meeting at the middle of the field while the Wolverines and Indians receive their final instructions. Along the near sideline are the West Allegheny Indians. They wear their home white jerseys with the dark gray pants, dark gray numerals with the red trim, dark gray helmets with the red West WA on both sides. On the far sideline, Woodland Hills wears their all-black jerseys, black pants, turquoise numerals with the white trim, and the turquoise helmets with the black ears and stripes. Good to have you along with us here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
And just a side note, Adam, it looked like West A had won the toss and deferred their option to the second half.
So we are nearly set to get this one going here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you. Good to have you along with us for this WPIAL 5A Allegheny 9 conference matchup. Our officials for today, Steve Hall and his crew. And the fans are piling in slowly but surely here in Turtle Creek, as I'm sure the rain certainly has kept some folks away, especially considering our game is available live on the internet on our outlets, and of course the game also available live on TV via Root Sports. So Opsatnik will be kicking off for West Allegheny. While back deep to return for Woodland Hills is Saeed Holt alongside of Derrick Caraway. Opsatnik will set the ball at the right hash. While Holt and Caraway stand back near the 10-yard line. And we'll see if Opsatnik plays keep away from this dangerous return team. He will pop it sky high, and Woodland Hills will take it up near the 35-yard line, and that return man will be wrestled down around the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for the Wolverines. So first and 10 for Woody High to start this football game.
It looked like that kickoff was taken by Abramovitz. He did a great job of just getting underneath it, making sure he had a secure catch, arms around it. You know, the ball is going to be very slick with the rain, as much rain as we've seen over the past day and a half. So ball security is definitely going to be a key in this ball game.
So Woodland Hills starts this drive at their 36, 6 seconds into the first quarter. Pistol formation as Jones gets the start, and he will hand off. Running to the left is Holt. He's got a gaping hole to the 50, to the 40, to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown, and the Wolverines start the game the best way they possibly could.
Well, they certainly couldn't have asked for a better play, and the offensive line did a great job of opening up a hole. It looked like Holt just took the ball off the left side, saw one little crack in that seam, and busted through it and on his way to the end zone for the touchdown.
Look at that hole over that left-hand side. Just one man out in front, and that lead blocker sprung. Saeed Holt, who got the start today at tail, and Holt took it the whole way to the end zone. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is up, and Chucky Hanchett's PAT is good, and with 11:42 to play in the first quarter, Woodland Hills steps out on top of West Allegheny 7-0. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Back to Turtle Creek, PA, where Woodland Hills has opened up a 7-0 lead over the West Allegheny Indians on a 64-yard touchdown run by Saeed Holt. The Wolverines just running a counter to the left-hand side, and a couple of blockers out there in front of Saeed Holt led the way. And off to the races went Saeed Holt for the Woody High TD.
Yeah, when you get Saeed Holt in the open field, a couple of yards in between him and a defender, I highly doubt anyone's going to be able to track him down. So Chucky Hanchett on to kick off after the Wolverines take the early lead. And Hanchett's kick down the near sideline takes one hop to about the 5-yard line, where it will be returned by West Allegheny. Straight up the middle comes the return man for West Allegheny. Elijah Collier's down the near boundary. He'll be forced out of bounds by Chucky Hanchett, and the Indians are in business in Woody High territory at the 45. Yeah, and Brandon Lipford did a great job of really setting up his blockers as he got the ball. He took a couple seconds to survey the field, went right up the middle of the field, and then saw there was a nice hole off his right side, and was able to gain significant yards on that punt return. Kickoff return, sorry.
So West A starts this drive at the Woodland Hills 45. They'll spot the ball. So the quarterback, Kenny White, as the Indians start in the Wildcat. Sidecar to the right-hand side of White. White straight up the gut, and he will go inside of the 30, the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and into the end zone. And can you believe it? 2 plays from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns.
And what I'm really surprised is on this play, the tight end came in motion to the right side, and the receiver on the left side didn't cover up the tackle. So it looked like there should have been a illegal procedure called against West A that the referees missed.
So the Wolverines down, or rather up 7-6 after that touchdown by Kenny White, covering 45 yards. The PAT by Opsatnik is up and in, and we have played 36 seconds of football, and the score is 7-7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 11:24 to play in the first quarter. It is 7-7 as both West Allegheny and Woodland Hills score on their first plays from scrimmage. West Allegheny on a 45-yard touchdown run by Kenny White. For the Wolverines, it was a 64-yard TD for Saeed Holt. Well, Fred, we expected a close football game with a lot of fireworks. So far, we played 36 seconds of football, and we have not been disappointed.
Yeah, and it looked like West State ran the exact same play that Woodland Hills did. A counter play where both guards pulled, and they were able to open up a really nice hole for Kenny White. And then, again, Kenny White, one of the faster players in the WPIAL, nothing but total speed on his way to the end zone.
So kicking off will be Opsatnik. This time he will move to the left hash. They kick short to the Wolverines to open the football game. Will they do the same here? They will do the same. High end over end kick. Takes a hop, and the Wolverines will cover it up around the 33-yard line. Coming up was, I do believe, Saeed Holt. And Holt will cover up that football at the 33-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 for Woodland Hills.
Yeah, it looks like there was a lot of miscommunication for the Woodland Hills, that nobody seemed to want to actually take the responsibility of catching that ball.
So let's see if we have an extended drive or another touchdown. The rain falling a little bit harder here in Turtle Creek. Here's Woodland Hills again in the pistol, with Holt behind Jones. Hand off, Holt running right. Looking to turn the corner as he hesitates. Now reversing his field, but he'll be brought down in the backfield. Back near the 30-yard line, it will be a loss of about 3, and it will be second down. And they'll push the ball up to the 31-yard line, where it'll be second down and about a dozen.
Yeah, and the cutback is going to work sometimes against some teams. I don't think you're going to be very successful with it against this West Allegheny football team. Saeed Holt just takes the ball off the right side. Didn't see anything, any creases or anything that he could exploit. Decided to cut it back, but the number 42 for West Allegheny, Anthony Dellovade, was able to make a nice ankle tackle.
Handoff running to the right-hand side. Jayquan Hill, he'll be met at the line of scrimmage and driven back. They may even say he lost a yard back to the 30-yard line, and that'll bring up 3rd and 13.
Yeah, it seems like the West Allegheny defense has been re-energized after that long touchdown run by Saeed Holt, because the first 2 running plays for Woodland Hills hasn't resulted in very much.
So the Wolverines may have to go to the air here early in the football game, facing a 3rd down and 13. Pistol formation, 2 receivers to the left-hand side, a wing to the left as well. Jones, he's going to run the end around to Derrick Caraway, running to that far boundary. He's got the first down. He's out across the midfield stripe. They'll say he actually steps out just shy of that midfield stripe at the 48, but it's 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills after that pickup of 18 yards.
Yeah, good job of Derrick Caraway of really securing the ball after it was tossed to him by Jones. It looked like there was a little bit of a bobble, but once he got that ball into his body, he was able to look at the field and saw there was a nice opening around the right side, picking up the first down.
So the Wolverines 1st and 10, the ball just shy of the midfield stripe at the 48-yard line. A wing and 2 receivers to the left. Handoff, Hill, and he will be met in the backfield and brought down, a loss of 3, and it is 2nd down and 13.
And I think Daniel Jones might have held on to the ball a little bit too long as Jayquan Hill came across his body. Wasn't sure if he was going to pull it out, but he saw the defensive end that stayed home and gave the ball up to Hill. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the near side left.
2nd and 13 as a motion man from right to left is Robertson. Hand off. And Saeed Holt's going to pick up about 5 to the 50-yard line before being brought down. Tap on the plate by Matt Holmes, and it is 3rd and 8.
And that was a good job of Saeed Holt of really being patient, letting his lead block, letting his pulling guard and tackle get around, and then was able to pick up, just saw a little bit of a crease and able to pick it up for 5 yards.
So Saeed Holt now with 67 yards on 3 carries to go along with the touchdown. Wolverines have it 3rd and 8, the ball at the 50-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 to the near side left. Jones off of play action, looking right the whole way, throwing down that right-hand side. The receiver has a step, diving catch down at the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Wolverines. Diving reception by Rodney Dennard.
And I'm not sure if Rodney Dennard wasn't almost tripped up by the D-back for West Allegheny, but man, he did a great job of laying out and catching that ball. And I think I think once he caught it, he landed on it because it looked like Rodney Dennard might have went off to the sideline with an injury.
41-yard pass play from Jones to Dennard, and the Wolverines have it 1st down and goal. And I think you're right, Fred. Looks like there may have been some contact with the foot there, forcing Dennard to dive. But either way, the diving catch by Rodney Dennard sets the Wolverines up 1st and goal at that 9-yard line. And you can see why Jones got the start today, especially after the way he's played the last 2 weeks. Motion man from right to left is Robertson. Hand off. Holt has a cutback lane to the right-hand side. He'll drive his way inside of the 5, still on his feet, down to around the 3-yard line. It's a pickup of about a half a dozen. And the Wolverines face a 2nd and goal at the 3 and an injured Indian down on the field.
Yeah, and from the angle that we're sitting at, Adam, we can definitely see the cutback lane that Saeed Holt had, because it was absolutely massive, and just churning his legs as he's on his way into trying to get into the end zone.
Again, the tackle made by Matt Holmes, amongst others, for the West Allegheny Indians, and an extended injury break as they look at the left knee of this injured West A player. And we'll step away to 7:37 to play in the 1st quarter. It's Woodland Hills 7, West Allegheny 7, but the Wolverines threaten. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 7:37 to play in the 1st quarter as the injured Indian is helped off of the field. The injured player, Kamren Cornell, the outside linebacker for West Allegheny, helped to the boundary. Wolverines have it 2nd down and goal at the 3-yard line. Wolverines setting the offense here with Daniel Jones, the quarterback, and Saeed Holt, the tailback, in the pistol. Wing to the right-hand side is Robertson. He'll now motion from right to left and Crab. Handoff, Holt. He'll drive his way to the line of scrimmage and get no further. And it will be 3rd down and goal at the 3-yard line as Dellovade on the tackle for West A.
Good job of the interior defensive lineman for West A of getting good penetration on Saeed Holt as he got the ball. And again, these guys, what I like about West Allegheny is that they're gang tacklers. You know, you're not going to get just one. You're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in your face anytime you touch the ball.
So the Wolverines 3rd and goal as the clock winds to 6 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the 1st quarter. Ball at the 3-yard line. Handoff. Holt running to his left. He just lost his balance as he had a hole momentarily, and he'll be down at the 5-yard line, and the field goal unit is going to have to come out.
Yeah, I think Saeed Holt might have got started a little early too, and really surprised the referees didn't call that. But thought he had wide open field, but as he was making his cut, he just couldn't keep his feet and lost a couple yards on that play.
So Chucky Hanchett on to attempt the field goal for the Wolverines. This will be an attempt of 22 yards out of the hold of Mikey Whitehurst. Good snap by McAllister, and Chucky Hanchett is hurt as the Indians block the field goal after the whistle blew. Hanchett is hurt. And I'll tell you what, this is absolutely, if Chucky Hanchett is hurt, this really is something that is inexcusable. I mean, why were whistles blowing? And, you know, they came after the football. He dove at Hanchett's legs. He's hurt now. I mean, this is a big loss for Woodland Hills if Hanchett is not able to return. Here as they are looking at his right knee. And that is, I mean, every day of the week. Now, I know that it was a dead ball, so it's not a real play. But every day of the week, that's roughing the kicker. If it's a real play.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but I think because of the whistles before or just as the ball was snapped.
Of course, from what we saw earlier in the season at North Hills, they'll waive roughing the kicker penalties on, inexplicably. I mean, you know, from what we've said, you know, this is definitely dead ball. So there's no possible way that Woodland Hills can get a first down, and that Chucky Hanchett is going to, you know, be the beneficiary of running into a roughing the kicker penalty. And the Wolverines hopefully are able to keep the kicker at this point. But
well, and that's one thing. We don't even know what the penalty is.
Well, you know.
We don't know if it's against Woodland Hills or West Allegheny. I mean, if it's against Woodland Hills, it's a half a distance to the goal line penalty, but you're still at fourth down, you know, and do you keep your offense on the field or, you know, I don't know if Woodland Hills, we haven't seen the second kicker come in for Woodland Hills, so it'll be interesting what Coach Novak is going to do on this fourth down play.
Well, Hanchett can't even put any pressure on his right leg. So what in every play of every football game, if there wasn't a whistle that we haven't heard about yet, didn't happen. That would be roughing the kicker, and Woodland Hills would have a first down. Right now, all we know is that Woodland Hills sees their sophomore kicker go off of the field. And we're going to play fourth down. It looks like the penalty was against West Allegheny as the ball has moved closer to the goal line from the 3-yard line. And we'll check in with our referee, Steve Hall, to get the call. And as we said, Fred.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, remains fourth down.
As we said, that's all well and good, and the Wolverines have an opportunity here with the offense on the field a little closer to the goal line. The problem is that because of that penalty and because of the whistles, there is not a roughing the kicker penalty. That's reasonably unfortunate. So the Wolverines here have an opportunity on 4th and goal at the 2. Robertson grabs left, then back. Handoff, Holt, he's met in the backfield and brought down. A loss of about 5, turnover on downs, and the Indians, all excited for hurting the Wolverines kicker, now have the ball.
And it looked like number 54, Matt Holmes, did a great job of just busting through the offensive line of Woodland Hills. It looked like he wasn't even touched as he came across the line of scrimmage and then secured an ankle tackle against Saeed Holt.
Well, I mean, I clearly I'm a little frustrated about the fact that an encroachment penalty.
1st and 10 Indians from.
On the turnover on downs gives West A the ball at the 5. And we'll go from there. 5:04 or 5:47 to play rather as West A will start this drive at their own 5-yard line. And the ball carrier is Kenny White, and he'll drive his way out to about the 9-yard line for a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, Kenny White's been running the Wildcat offense so far in this ball game. Quarterback Nick Ross is out in the game. He's in the formation as a wide receiver, and Woodland Hills did a great job of recognizing it right away and picking up a nice tackle.
Second and 6 for the Wolverines with the ball at the 9-yard line, or rather for the Indians with the ball at the 9. White running to the left. This is a new quarterback. This is Brandon Lipford. And Lipford off to the races, still on his feet, out towards the 40 to the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 36 yards, and it is a first down for West Allegheny.
And again, West Allegheny running the Wildcat, this time with Brandon Lipford, who's one of their speedier wide receivers, really just taking the ball, took a step back, basically setting up his blockers, and then when he did, he saw a nice cutback lane, a lot of over-pursuing Woodland Hills Wolverines, and then once he came into contact, everybody was trying to tackle the ball. All the Wolverines were trying to tackle the ball instead of the man.
So White, the quarterback, in the shotgun. He'll run to the left-hand side, and he will be met at the line of scrimmage and driven down. A couple of Wolverines on a stop, including Barlow. Also down at the bottom of the pile is Sidney Summers.
Yeah, it looks like Sidney Summers is getting his first start of the season against West Allegheny. He's done a great job so far in some reserve roles. I also see number 10, Amari Collins, in the ballgame at linebacker. So it looks like I see Paige Jones, who's typically the Mike linebacker, middle linebacker for this Woodland Hills defense, is actually on the strong side on some of these earlier plays.
Now a new quarterback in as the handoff will go to Kenny White, and he will run to the right-hand side, and he'll be forced out of bounds along the near boundary. Derrick Caraway on the tackle, and it's a pickup of about 7, and it is third down and 3.
And Derrick Caraway was alone on an island with Kenny White because there was nobody between Kenny White and the end zone except for Derrick Caraway, and Derrick Caraway did a great job of pushing him out of bounds and not letting him pick up the first down.
So 57 yards on the ground now for Kenny White on 4 carries. And Lipford is now the quarterback in the Wildcat on third down and 3. He'll run to the left-hand side. Saeed Holt submarines him, and it will be maybe a loss of a half a yard. If not, they'll say he gets back to the line of scrimmage and no further, and it will be fourth down, and the punt unit will come on for West Allegheny.
And that's a great job of Saeed Holt of really just reading the play and the setup of the blocking for Lipford, and just did a great job of coming in and with the ankle tackle.
So the punter on for West A, as for the first time today we see either team bring on their punt unit. Back deep to return for Woodland Hills is Derrick Caraway. West A with 3 receivers to the left, as Obsatnik nearly has his punt blocked, and that ball will have a backwards roll and will die at the 30-yard line, and a net punt of just 18 yards. Woodland Hills will take over at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great job of putting some pressure for the punt return team on DJ Obsatnik, which I think got him a little rattled as he was trying to kick that ball off.
So first and 10 for Woodland Hills. The football at the 30-yard line. Wolverines set in the pistol. Trips to the left. Jones in the quarterback spot. Handoff, and it will be Saeed Holt taking the carry, driving his way to the line of scrimmage. No further. No, rather that is Jayquan Hill, the ball carrier that time. Gain of maybe a half a yard. They'll actually say he just gets back to the 30 and no further once they spot the football, and it will be second and 10.
Yeah, again, tremendous penetration by the front 7 of West Allegheny. Just did a great job of really seeing the play. And then, you know, these tacklers for West A, they're not trying to go for the ball. They're trying to go for the man and taking out, getting the ankles and the heels of these Woodland Hills Wolverines running backs.
And Jones is going to hand off, and the Indians are all in the backfield as Jayquan Hill is going to be brought down back at the 24-yard line. Tackle made by E.J. Bauer.
And E.J. Bauer looks like he is filling in for the injured Kamren Cornell, who is one of their better linebackers, one of their top linebackers, I should say, on this West Allegheny defense.
5 carries for -10 yards thus far for Jayquan Hill. Meanwhile, Saeed Holt has 7 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. Jones will set in the pistol, trips to the right. 1 back behind him. Wolverine's going to run the end around. Derrick Caraway sliding his way forward, looking for a cutback lane. He'll get up towards the 28, but no further. And the Wolverines are going to have to bring the punt unit on after going 3 and out.
Yeah, I think West Allegheny, what they did is they saw that play develop very early and just stayed home, cut off the outside lane for Derrick Caraway. He was forced to cut it back inside, and then once that happened, the West A linebackers and secondary were waiting for him.
Caraway now 2 carries, 22 yards, but the punt unit is on as Mike Whitehurst is going to punt this one away, and his punt is partially blocked going to the far sideline, and will be covered up by West Allegheny up near the 32-yard line, and the Indians are in business as the punt is blocked by Logan Scheider.
Well, what's really interesting is Mike Whitehurst has done basically the conventional punting and then the rugby-style punting. And this time I thought he might have been better served going conventional, considering that West A basically overloaded their left side and brought tremendous pressure right into the face of Mikey Whitehurst.
So the Indians with just under 30 seconds to play here in quarter number 1 start this drive at the Woodland Hills 33-yard line. The quarterback is Kenny White. Kenny White takes the snap, runs to his left. He will be wrapped and brought down a couple of yards deep in the backfield by Austin Balashak, and that brings up 2nd down and a dozen.
I couldn't tell which Wolverine it was. It might have been Balashak, but somebody had a handful of his jersey as he was trying to come across the line of scrimmage, and it was not caught. I mean, his shoulder pad is exposed, and it was not called.
Yeah, Matt Holmes was grabbing a hold of Austin Balashak on that final play of the first quarter, but Balashak was still able to shed the tackle and make the stop 2 yards deep in the backfield. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Indians when we begin the second frame. It's 7-all here at the Wolverena. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Again, fans, as part of the United States Marine sponsorship of tonight's game, they brought the Chin-Up Challenge to Woodland Hills. We encourage fans from both Woodland Hills and West Allegheny to participate in the Chin-Up Challenge. The school that does the most determines tonight's winner. So be sure to get to the Chin-Up Challenge for your school.
Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills and West Allegheny are tied up at 7-all. Some technical difficulties kind of hampering our ability to bring you a smooth broadcast for quarter number 1. Let's hope things are ironed out here for quarter number 2 and beyond, as this is a huge football game between the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the West Allegheny Indians, and it started off with some fireworks. A 64-yard touchdown run by Saeed Holt, followed immediately by a 45-yard touchdown run by Kenny White. The Wolverines then came back out on the field and drove the ball all the way down to the West Allegheny 3-yard line, and they were forced to bring out the field goal unit. And as Chucky Hanchett came on for a field goal attempt, a encroachment penalty against West Allegheny blew the play dead. West Allegheny went to block the field goal, and whoever blocked that field goal came down on the leg of Hanchett, and he was shaken up. Now, the Wolverines didn't have an opportunity to bring out another kicker. I don't think they have another kicker that's capable of kicking a field goal, so Woodland Hills had to go for it on 4th and goal at the 2-yard line, and the Indians were able to stymie that Woodland Hills attempt and forced the turnover on downs, and West Allegheny drove the ball out towards midfield, punted it back to Woodland Hills. Woodland Hills not able to do anything, 3 and out, punted it back to West Allegheny, but that punt was partially blocked, and that's where we stand right now as the Indians have it 2nd down and about 12 at the Woodland Hills 35-yard line to begin the second quarter.
I was talking to former Woodland Hills running back Melvin Cobbs about this game today, and I specifically said defensive struggle. And if watching the first 2 plays of this game, I thought, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it wasn't going to be a defensive struggle. But right now, both these defenses on these last couple of drives have really stepped up their game and holding each other to pretty insignificant yardage.
Nick Ross now in at quarterback as the Indians set in the pistol for a rare occasion. Ross off of play action. He's pressured as he rolls to the right and throws to the right. The pass is complete over to that right-hand side. And Brandon Lipford on the catch drives his way down to around the 30-yard line before being banged around and brought down around the 29. And that will bring up 3rd down and about a half a dozen for West A.
And if it's been one play that's consistently hurt the Woodland Hills defense, it's definitely been a screen play, whether it be a wide receiver screen, tight end screen, or a running back screen. Teams have been successful against this defense with the screen pass.
Pick up about 5 on that, the first completed pass today for West Allegheny. So the Indians here set in the shotgun as Ross stands with a back to his right-hand side. Ross throwing to the right, and the pass in and out of the hands of Mateo Vandemia. And Vandemia cannot hang on to it, and that will bring up 4th down. And it will be at the 29-yard line. And we will see if they'll go for the long field goal here or the punt unit will come on for West A.
Well, I'm not sure if they told the kicker or the punter what's going on, because he's just now trotting onto the field, and so is the holder quarterback Nick Ross.
Well, this is going to be a 46-yard field goal attempt straight away, and we know the kind of chops that DJ Opsatnik has. This is definitely within his range, but on a wet night, wet ball, wet field, we'll see if he can get it done. And that kick by Opsatnik, boy, that had been good from 55 yards, and Woodland Hills trails the West Allegheny Indians 10-7 with 11:01 to play in the second quarter on that 46-yard field goal by DJ Opsatnik.
That was a really impressive kick. And DJ Opsatnik is not a big kid by any stretch of the imagination, only listed at 5'8", 150 pounds, but his technique, his form, and then what he puts through the ball is absolutely fantastic.
We'll step away. Woodland Hills trailing West Allegheny 10-7. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 46-yard field goal for DJ Opsatnik, and the Wolverines trail the West Allegheny Indians 10-7 with 11:01 to play in quarter number 2. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Opsatnik setting right next to the football, and again we'll pop this one up high, where the Wolverines will bring the return from around the 25-yard line down that far sideline. A crease for that Woodland Hills return man, and out towards the midfield stripe. Finally at the 49-yard line is where that return man will be brought down. It's Jayquan Smith on the return for Woodland Hills.
And that's a great job of Jayquan Smith of really paying attention to what was around him as he caught the ball. He had the sideline, but he had at least 4 or 5 Woodland Hills blockers that picked up some nice blocking, used his vision as a running back. He's had great vision throughout the course of the season, and was able to put Woodland Hills in a pretty good spot to start this drive.
Jones continues to man the quarterback spot for Woodland Hills as he got the start for the first time this season. Receivers split to either side, and Jones is going to hand off. Saeed Holt has a crease as he drives his way forward inside of Indians territory to the 44-yard line, and it is second down and a very manageable 3 for Woodland Hills.
Good job of Saeed Holt of putting 2 hands around the ball as he was engaging a West Allegheny Indian. He had some issues last week with the fumbleitis, but so far has corrected that so far in this ballgame.
Again, receivers split to either side. Snap off to the left. Jones corrals it, hands off Holt. Holt lowers his shoulders, picks up about 2 yards to the 42-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 1 for Woodland Hills.
And I like the fact that Jones looks like he has some urgency as he's getting that ball to Holt. Getting the snap, making a quick turn to Saeed Holt, and Saeed Holt, sees the lead stick and just putting his head down to get some good yardage.
So 3rd and 1 for Woodland Hills with the ball at the West Allegheny 42-yard line. Jones looks right, then left, calling out signals. Wing to his left. Jones settles in the pistol. He'll hand off. Holt running left. Able to keep his balance enough to drive his way to the 40-yard line. It's a first down for Woodland Hills on a pickup of 2.
Good job of Holt, as you said, Adam, keeping his balance as he came across the line of scrimmage, because he actually had a West Allegheny Indian either put a hand or something on him as he got the ball in the backfield, but was able to shake that off and pick up the first down.
Clock winding to 9 minutes and 22 seconds to play in quarter number 2. It is 10-7 West Allegheny leading Woodland Hills. And the Wolverines going to run the end around again. Caraway taking the handoff from Jones as a flag comes in. Caraway's going to be brought down back around the 45-yard line. And we'll have to check in to see what this penalty is. A couple yards deep in the backfield. It's going to be holding against Woodland Hills, and Bob Palco, the head coach for West A, is going to accept the penalty.
Holding on the offense. 10 feet from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
So this is going to back Woodland Hills up to the 47-yard line, bringing up first down and 23 for Woody High. Fred, this drive started at the 49, so this ball placement actually will be shy of the start of this drive.
Yeah, and you really got to give a lot of credit to both teams. They're both playing very well. Woodland Hills is able to run the ball pretty much up the middle of the West A defense, and then West A is coming up with big plays to stop the Woodland Hills.
Jones looking straight down the middle, and he will find a leaping Avram Abramovitz for a Woodland Hills first down at the 22-yard line. He outleaped 2 white jerseys for that Woodland Hills first down.
And there was a 3rd white jersey in the area as Abramovitz came down with that football, and Jones just did a great job of standing in there amongst the pressure that was bearing in on him. Saw that there was a little bit of a height mismatch with his wide receiver and the defensive backs for West A, and made the connection.
31-yard pickup on that pass play. And the Wolverines have it first down and 10 at the Indians' 23-yard line. Hand off. Holt running to the left-hand side. He'll be shouldered out of bounds inside of the 20 at the 19-yard line. It'll be second down and 6 for Woodland Hills.
You know, what I seen on that last play is the 2 wide receivers to the right-hand side, basically one-on-one with the safety and cornerback for West Allegheny. So you do have a matchup issue because you have nobody over the top to help out if, those 2 guys decide to run fly patterns.
Second and 6 for the Wolverines with the football at the 19-yard line. Jones in the pistol. And as the Wolverines look to run to the right-hand side, the offensive lineman on the right-hand side moves early.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So after the penalty, the Wolverines are going to be pushed back, and that brings up second and 11.
Man, I really like the way that Daniel Jones is embracing this starter role that he's been thrusted into after the performance against the Moon Tigers last week.
2 receivers right, 1 to the far side left. Pistol formation with Holt behind Jones. Handoff, Holt running right, cutting it back to the left. He's inside of the 15, downfield blocker to the 10, inside of the 5. He'll cross the goal line for a Woodland Hills touchdown.
Great vision by Saeed Holt. Really saw that, basically took the ball to the left side, saw that the defensive end came right up the field, and there was a huge gaping hole to the left side around the end, picked up a nice block by Abramovitz, and then found the end zone a couple steps later.
23-yard touchdown, and what a nice block by Avram Abramovitz to spring Holt for the final few yards as he was able to keep Lipford at bay.
Timeout. Woodland Hills. It's their first charge timeout of the half.
So as the Wolverines take a timeout, that'll give us an opportunity to take a breather too. 8:06 to play in the second quarter. It's Woodland Hills 13 and West Allegheny 10. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Folks joining us on MSA Sports just heard a spot from the Triangle Bar and Grill, a great sponsor of the Woodland Hills football team as well as our broadcasts. And a fire at the Triangle yesterday, fortunately, was extinguished quickly by the Swissville Volunteer Fire Department, and they were back open for business today. And that is good news. Wolverines going for two here. Daniel Jones looking left, throwing left, and it is, nearly intercepted and nearly caught also. So the Wolverines going for two without a kicker end up having to settle with a 3-point lead as Jones looking for Abramovitz over on that far boundary.
Yeah, it looked like number 17, Noah Ledford, had the coverage. I'm sorry, it was Brandon Lipford who had the coverage. Did a great job of really seeing the football coming from the quarterback. And, again, like you said, could have gone either way, but unfortunately, Woodland Hills wasn't able to come up with a 2-point conversion.
Looking forward for the Wolverines. Next week they'll take on the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Now, should Woodland Hills win this game, they will clinch at least a share of the Allegheny 9 Conference Championship. Even if they should lose to Upper St. Clair next week, the Wolverines will again clinch at least a share of the conference title. Should Woodland Hills win this week and next week, Wolverines are conference champs and in all likelihood head into the WPIAL playoffs as the number 1 seed in 5A.
Sort of depending on what pans out on the other side in the Big East Conference. You have, I think, 3 or 4 teams with 5-1 conference records. A big matchup next week with McKeesport versus Penn Trafford, which, in my mind could either seal the fate of the Penn Trafford Warriors, who are sitting now, I think, in the 6th spot in the conference after 3 straight losses.
Taking a look at the Allegheny 9 conference standings, we already talked about how pivotal this game is for West Allegheny and Woodland Hills, as both teams are undefeated at 6-0 within the conference. Upper St. Clair sits just behind Woodland Hills and West A, as West A defeated Upper St. Clair earlier in the season. North Hills has solidified themselves as the number 4 team out of the conference with that 4-3 conference mark, and in all likelihood will qualify for the playoffs in the number 4 spot in the Allegheny 9. Let's see what Michael Whitehurst can do as the kicker here for Woodland Hills, as Chucky Hanchett is injured, and the ball will carry him off of the leg of Carlos Norman, and Norman will be forced to cover it up, and it will be 1st down and 10 for West A at the 39-yard line.
Well, Mikey Whitehurst is no Chucky Hanchett when it comes to kicking, but I thought that was a great job of Mikey Whitehurst with the swip kick. He was able to find unsuspecting up man, and Norman did a great job of just covering up the ball.
Ross will set in the pistol. With the tailback behind him and a sidecar to the left. And it looks like the receiver on that far boundary, Jake Jones, moved early. And we'll check in with our referee, Steve Hall, to confirm.
False start on the offense. 3-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
So the Indians are going to be backed up 5 yards to the 34-yard line where they'll start this drive instead of the 39. So again, Nick Ross is the quarterback. And we will see yet another tailback for West A, as Will Weber will set in the tailback spot. Ross with receivers split to either side. He'll look to the right-hand side. The pass complete over to that right-hand side, and the guilty party, Jake Jones, on the false start, catches that football over on the far boundary at the 44-yard line, a pickup of 10, and it's 2nd down and 5 for West Allegheny.
Yeah, Nick Ross just ran a fake to his running back. Well, actually, he didn't even fake it, just went right to number 37, Jake Jones. And Jake Jones did a great job of catching that ball, as he had a couple Wolverines bearing in on him.
2nd down and 5 for the West Allegheny Indians. Handoff goes to the tailback, Will Weber, and Weber will lower his shoulders, trying to drive his way forward. He'll cross the 45 to about the 46-yard line for a gain of about 2, and it is 3rd down and about 3 for the Indians as the bodies unpile.
Yeah, Terrell Barlow at the bottom of that pile with Weber, doing a great job as he's coming back from injury, making some splash plays for this Wolverine defense.
So it's 3rd and 3 for West A. The football just past their own 45 at the 46-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 to the far boundary right, as Ross sets in the shotgun and a sidecar to his right-hand side. Ross looking left the whole way, throwing left, and the pass is complete, and catching that football is Brandon Lipford, and Lipford is shouldered and then hit, and they will say that his forward progress was all the way to the Woodland Hills 47-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for West Allegheny.
Yeah, that's where Lipford caught the ball, but then once he caught the ball, he was tattooed by Saeed Holt, came up with the body shot, and Lipford, surprisingly, I thought he might be able to keep his balance, but it was a little bit too much for him coming from Saeed Holt.
So again, a pickup of 7, and it's 1st down and 10 for West A with the football at the Woodland Hills 46-yard line. Ross in the shotgun. Oh, rather, it's Weber in the shotgun. He lost the snap. He's wrapped in the backfield. And Sidney Summers is going to bring him down all the way back at the 41-yard line. And the sophomore, who's getting his first career start, making splash plays.
He did a great job. I mean, Weber did a great job of avoiding at least 3 or 4 Woodland Hills Wolverines before Sidney Summers was able to make the tackle. But looks like it was just a mishandled snap by Weber. And then, again, made at least 3 Woodland Hills Wolverines miss before Sidney Summers came up and made the tackle.
Now, a week ago, we saw Summers getting reps with the first team, but today definitely making his first career start at the linebacker spot for Woody High. So Ross in the shotgun this time, 2 receivers left. 1 to the far side right. Straight drop back for Ross as he has time. Looks across the middle, and the pass intended for Brandon Lipford is incomplete. A Wolverine near the football couldn't come up with it. I think that was Rodney Dennard who had an opportunity, but the incomplete pass brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, a good job of the Wolverine secondary accounting for every wide receiver that came out into the formation. And then, again, there was no pressure on Ross. He just couldn't set his feet fast enough to make an accurate throw.
Clock stopped. 5:14 to play in the second quarter. Woodland Hills 13, West Allegheny 10. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the far boundary right. Sidecar to the right-hand side of Ross on 3rd and long. Setting up the screen, the pass complete. Lipford sliding past 1 tackler, trying to avoid a second. Now spinning his way forward, and he is off to the races. Oh my goodness, Lipford is going to go to the house. He broke a half a dozen tackles on his way to the end zone, and West Allegheny has reclaimed the lead.
Oh, wow. That is one of the more elusive runs that I have ever seen in a high school football game. Basically, what happened is West A ran a wide receiver screen to Lipford. He slipped 1, went to the middle of the field, and then there are at least 7 or 8 Woodland Hills Wolverines that he just made a spin move, hit the X button, and then 2 seconds later he was in the end zone.
Amir Collins near the end of that play, I think he assumed that Lipford was going to be brought down. He had an opportunity to end the play near the 45-yard line, did not do so, and that allowed Lipford to take it all the way to the house the rest of the way for that 59-yard touchdown. And Upsatnik's PAT is up and in. And with 5 minutes exactly to play in the second quarter, West Allegheny leads Woodland Hills 17-13. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports, the Woodland Hills Football Network. Third catch of the game for Brandon Lipford, a 59-yard touchdown, and Woodland Hills trails West Allegheny 17-13. And Nick Ross as he completed the screen pass over to the left-hand side to Lipford. And I think the Indians would have been happy to get the ball near the midfield stripe. Instead, Lipford ended up breaking 7 tackles on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, this has to be everyone's play of the night. I mean, the tremendous individual effort by Lipford, making so many Woodland Hills Wolverines miss tackles on his way to the end zone, is amazing.
81 yards in the air today for Nick Ross as he has completed 4 of his 6 attempts by my count, 3 of them to Lipford. Kicking off is DJ Upsatnik for the West Allegheny Indians. As the rain continues to fall here in Turtle Creek, PA, chilly evening for homecoming night between the Woodland Hills Wolverines and the West Allegheny Indians. Upsatnik kicks off, and this will carry him off of an up man and will be scooped up by the Wolverines at the 15-yard line. Running to the near side right is Saeed Holt, and he will be brought down as he crosses the 25 to around the 26 or 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines with some of their worst starting field position of the game.
And this is the first time DJ Upsatnik decided to put the ball down the field, and Saeed Holt, it looked like he was just waiting for things a little bit too long to set up. Didn't see the fact that on his left side of the field he had some wide open territory, but decided to keep it on the right side, and now Woodland Hills has to start driving along field.
It's been fun, Robbie, for sure.
Well, it is 1st down and 10 for Woodland Hills with the football at the 47-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Daniel Jones continues to man the quarterback spot for Woody High. Receiver split to either side, a wing to the left. Jones looking left the whole way, completing the pass to the left-hand side. And that is Deontay Robertson carrying it across the 30 to the 32-yard line before he's undercut by an Indian. And it is 2nd down and about 5 after that pickup of 5.
Yeah, and it seems like Deontay Robinson's playing a little bit of that H-back role for Woodland Hills. He does a great job of coming into the formation, going in motion, and then slipping out into the flats. And Jones did a great job of hitting him right in the chest.
3rd receiver today for the Wolverines to catch a football as Jones scoops up a low snap. Looks left, and as he tries to complete that pass over to that far sideline, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and I think Jones was just happy to get rid of the football as pressure was coming after he had to scoop up a low snap from Michael McAllister.
Yeah, in that situation, you just really need to be a little bit more headsy about the situation and maybe launch the ball right into the sideline and not potentially force a turnover.
I don't even think he had the laces in his hands, and again, the ball was also deflected at the line of scrimmage, as well as West Allegheny is going to call a timeout. That'll give us an opportunity to step away too. With 4:12 to play in the 2nd quarter, West Allegheny 17, Woodland Hills 13. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. The rain falling a little bit harder here in Turtle Creek as Woodland Hills trails West Allegheny 17 to 13 with 4:12 to play in the 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 5 for the Wolverines as Jones pressured, setting up the waggle. He'll be brought down way back near the 20-yard line. A couple of Indians in on the stop. Down at the bottom of the pile is one of their outside linebackers. Making the stop is Matt Holmes, the defensive end.
West Allegheny brought a tremendous amount of pressure. They just figured that Woodland Hills were going to pass on that play, decided to bring at least 2 linebackers on the blitz, and did a great job of bringing Jones to the ground.
Loss of 15 on that play. Good snap by McAllister as Whitehurst's punt is blocked, and the Indians will scoop it up and take it into the end zone for a touchdown. And Woodland Hills now trails West Allegheny by a score of 23 to 13 with 3:27 to play in the 2nd quarter.
And this pressure came right up the middle of the punt team for Woodland Hills. And Woodland Hills only has one personal protector back there. West, they did a great job of bringing the pressure and blocking the punt, and rolled right into the end zone.
So the block punt by West Day, scooped up, taken into the end zone, and the Wolverines down by 10. West Allegheny can make it 11 here with DJ Opsatnik and his able foot. High snap, but the Indians get the hold down, and the PAT is up and in. 3:27 to play. Woodland Hills down 11. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Michael Whitehurst's punt is blocked by West Allegheny, and the Indians scoop it up and take it into the end zone for a touchdown. PAT up and in for DJ Opsatnik, and the Wolverines trail the West Allegheny Indians by 11 points, 24-13.
Yeah, again, as we're watching the replay, that pressure just came right up the middle of the punt team for Woodland Hills, and Mikey Whitehurst didn't stand a chance once he got that ball to his foot.
So the punt was blocked by Frankie Mendoza, and then the ball scooped up by Will Weber. And Weber will be credited with the touchdown, but the big play by Mendoza. And the kick by Opsatnik will sail over the head of Woodland Hills return man Nazir Taylor. And it will be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the 25-yard line.
So again, for the third week in a row, we see that Woodland Hills is down in a football game. And again, let's just hope that they learned a lot for those last two games. Don't hit the panic button and just stay the course and see what happens in this game.
I'm sorry, I forgot that the high school level hasn't caught up with the rest of football yet, and touchbacks still start at the 20-yard line at high school, while in the NFL and in college they're at the 25. Jones, he's going to hand off. Over the left-hand side goes Woodland Hills tailback. Saeed Holt brought down as he'll pick up about a yard to the 21-yard line. And it is 2nd down and 9.
Again, the defense for the West Allegheny Indians really has tightened up over the past couple of drives against the offense, and really anybody along that front seven has been able to make significant plays so far in this ballgame.
So Jones will set in the pistol. One receiver split to either side. He'll run to the right-hand side looking to pass. He's pressured as he steps forward. Karam's off of Indians, running to his right again, and he will be brought down by the second wave. Again on the play is Matt Holmes in the backfield for West A.
Yeah, and I think right now is not the time for Daniel Jones to panic. He had two receivers open on his right side. He had Eric Oliver and Deontay Robinson both, but decided not to pull the trigger, and unfortunately Woodland Hills is now backed up in a 3rd and long situation.
Loss of 8 on that play as West Allegheny takes a timeout. Well, Fred, earlier you were talking about what's going on the other side of 5A in the Big East Conference, and there are a lot of very, very good teams over there on that other side. Armstrong really a huge surprise, as they are just a newly formed team, new to AAA last year, moved up to 5A this year, and they have just one loss over on the other side, and they're ranked 3rd according to the MSA poll.
Yeah, and they boast a very talented running back in Zach Dudek, who's just done a great job of amassing over 2,000 yards so far in this season. Breaking records pretty much every time he touches the ball. So, and that's probably a situation where Woodland Hills might face a team like that in the 1st or 2nd round. And if that's the case, then Woodland Hills is going to have their handful.
Wolverines facing 3rd down and 17. The football at their own 13. Jones looking left, throwing left. And the pass is caught by Derrick Caraway. He'll jump up, he'll break a tackle, but he steps out of bounds over on that far boundary right around the 28-yard line. That'll bring up 4th and short. The Wolverines needed to pick up 17. Unfortunately, they only picked up about 15.
Well, and you have this late in the quarter, in the half, West A gets the ball to start the second half. So, right now, and with the last 2 punts by the Wolverines being blocked, you might as well go for it and see what, and if you don't make it, just your defense really has to step up in the next, under 2 minutes left to go in this half.
Daniel Jones, 4 of 5 today for 92 yards, and those 4 completions have gone to 4 different receivers. Clock winding here with 1:43 to go in the second quarter. Woodland Hills facing this 4th down and about 2 with the ball at the 28-yard line. Jones is going to set in the pistol with 2 receivers left and 1 to the near side right. And Coach Novak's going to ask for a timeout. And we'll step away too. Again, 1:28 to play in the second quarter. West Allegheny 24, Woodland Hills 13. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Satnick for 46 yards.
24-13, West Allegheny leading Woodland Hills with 1:28 to play in the second quarter. Woodland Hills, after putting their offense on the field, now will send the punt unit on this 4th down and 2 with the ball at the 28-yard line. High snap by McAllister, but Whitehurst able to corral it and get the punt away. And a very nice punt by Whitehurst will take a Woodland Hills roll to the 35 to the 34-yard line, where it's scooped up by Michael McAllister, and it'll be 1st down and 10 for West Allegheny at that spot.
Yeah, and that time Woodland Hills did a great job. The line for the punt team did a great job of staving off the West Allegheny Indians, who, again, were bringing some pressure on Mike Whitehurst, maybe to try to get a block or at least a back kick, but Mike Whitehurst was unfazed by that.
So 1st down and 10 for West A with the football at the 34-yard line. Bob Palco along the near sideline talking things over with quarterback Nick Ross. Ross, who the last time he touched the field, completed a touchdown pass of 59 yards. Well, Brandon Lipford did most of the work on the wide receiver screen. Ross looking right this time, again finding Lipford on that far boundary, and Lipford this time going to be pushed out of bounds after picking up a 1st down, a pickup of about 11 yards out to the 45-yard line.
If Woodland Hills wants to keep West A off the board going into halftime, they really need to make sure that they don't give West A too much yardage, especially with the kicker that they have in DJ Upsadnik.
Nazir Taylor over there initially trying to make the stop on Lipford, but another Wolverine had to come over and end up helping out to make the stop. 1st and 10 for West A with 1:10 to go in the second quarter. The ball at their own 45. Ross is in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 1 to the far side right. Ross straight drop back, looking across the middle, finds Lipford. Lipford running to this near side left. He's inside of the 20, inside of the 10, cutting it back, and he will be brought down as he crosses the goal line for a West Allegheny touchdown.
And again, Lipford, all he did was run a 10-yard in, and Nick Ross hit him in stride, and then Lipford did the rest. Took the ball across the field, hit the sideline, had some blocking down the field, and was able to get into the end zone.
And a collision there between Nazir Taylor and Saeed Holt kind of prevented either of them from making the play. And then what speed by Lipford to get past Derrick Caraway, and as Sidney Summers tried to make the stop just shy of the goal line, he wasn't able to wrestle Lipford down in time, and Lipford was able to get it across the goal line for a 55-yard touchdown. A low snap, but the holder able to get it up, and Upsatnik able to part the uprights, and with just under a minute to play in the second quarter, West Allegheny has opened up a 31-13 lead on Woodland Hills. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. A palindromic lead for West Allegheny, 31-13, as the Indians score on a 55-yard touchdown pass from Nick Ross to Brandon Lipford. Lipford catching the crossing pattern, covering about just 15 yards, and then Lipford, as he raced from right to left, was able to show some speed and then hit the cutback right around the 10-yard line, getting past Rodney Dennard, and was able to just get across the goal line before Sidney Summers made the tackle. And the Wolverines down by 28 points here, Fred Guy, with, or rather 18 points, Fred Guy, with less than a minute to play in the second quarter, and I think the home fans are stunned.
Yeah, I mean, can they really be stunned considering this is a very talented West Allegheny team? I think the fact that, the old nemesis is coming back to bite them in the butt with the passing game is what's even more shocking.
Upsatnik kicks off deep again. It'll carry over the head of Derrick Caraway, and West Allegheny forcing Woodland Hills to start at the 20-yard line again. So 59 seconds to go here. We've seen the Wolverines certainly score with minimal time left in halves before, including with just over a minute to play in the fourth quarter last week at Moon to win the football game. If the Wolverines score here, that certainly will help morale headed into the locker room before halftime. Jones sets in the pistol. He will hand off straight up the middle. Goes a Wolverine, and that is Jayquan Hill that time, who was hit and rattled as he's brought down. Gain of about 1 for Jayquan Hill, who has minus 9 yards on the ground on a handful of carries.
And that's really shocking considering that, Hill comes into the game as the Wolverines' leading rusher, but, West A's front seven's been able to keep him in check. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure why Saeed Holt's not in the ballgame running the football considering what he's been able to do so far in this ballgame.
Yeah, looking at Holt's numbers, 84 yards on about 10 carries. Of course, 64 of those came on the first carry of the game. Jones in the shotgun. He's going to hand off, running the left-hand side. Jayquan Hill. Hill is going to drive his way to the far boundary, stepping out of bounds after picking up the Woodland Hills first down at the 30-yard line.
I don't know.
The official will say it is a first down, a pickup of 9 for Jayquan Hill. He now has exactly 0 yards on 6 carries.
Yeah, considering how slow the side judge was to spot that ball, I wasn't sure if he was going to actually give him enough yardage for the first down.
And taking a look at our replay, you saw Hill hop right to the 30-yard line before stepping out. 7.6 seconds to play in the second quarter. Woodland Hills down by 18 points. Well, they go down the field. Jones in the pistol. 2 receivers right, 1 to the far side left. He's going to hand off. Jayquan Hill running the left-hand side, and he will be brought down inbounds at the 32-yard line. That's the end of the half, and Woodland Hills goes into the locker room trailing the West Allegheny Indians by 18 points, 31-13. And Fred, you said Woodland Hills can't be stunned, and well, I kind of agree with you. On the other hand, Woodland Hills had a lead of 3 points, 13-10, but since then, West Allegheny has ripped off 21 unanswered points.
Yeah, and they've really done it with the pass and special teams. I mean, Brandon Lipford's been able to really break free from this Woodland Hills defense on 2 occasions to put himself in the end zone, and then they get a block punt that rolls into the end zone, which really has been the one play that has started this whole thing.
Well, it is time for Woodland Hills to take a look at some whiteboards as they go into the locker room down by 18 points. They need to get some answers for the passing game for West Allegheny, and they need to figure out how they can get the offense moving. At times we've seen the passing game roll for Woodland Hills, but the running game has been stymied lately.
Yeah, the front seven for West Allegheny has done a great job against the running game for Woodland Hills, with the exception of one play. Ever since that long run by Holt, the defensive coaches for West A have honed in on what Woodland Hills is doing, and they really need to make some changes in the second half.
Again, your halftime score 31-13. West Allegheny leading Woodland Hills. Folks tuned in live on Facebook or on YouTube, stay tuned for the Woodland Hills and West Allegheny marching bands. If you are watching on a television replay, we'll be right back with the second half. And if you're tuned in live on MSA Sports, stay tuned for the Woodland Hills Football Network halftime show. For Fred Guy, I'm Adam Gusky. You're tuned in to the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. And we welcome you back to the Wolverine as we get set to begin half number 2. The Woodland Hills Wolverines have an 18-point deficit to overcome in the driving rain here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. And Woodland Hills fans, some good news. Chucky Hanchett will kick off to begin the second half for Woody High. The sophomore wearing number 33 is back out into the lineup. And his kickoff will bounce towards the 16-yard line, where it will be returned by Brandon Lipford, the ever-elusive West Allegheny Indian, who will finally be brought down as he crosses the 35 out towards the 37-yard line. And we talk about, Fred, how elusive Lipford is. That is because he had 2 50-plus yard touchdown receptions where he broke tackles and eluded Wolverines on both attempts.
Yeah, and not to take anything away from Brandon Lipford on those 2 touchdown catch and runs, but largely had to do with poor angles and poor tackling by the Woodland Hills Wolverines, especially his wide receiver screen, which he eluded at least 7 or 8 Woodland Hills Wolverines on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, definitely poor tackling in the first and poor pursuit angles in the second. So this drive for West A starts at the 37-yard line, where the tailback, Kenny White, will take the carry. He will drive his way to the line of scrimmage, carry him off the wave, and then be brought down at the line of scrimmage. At the bottom of the pile is Tyrell Barlow. And, Freddie, I'll tell you what, Tyrell Barlow has come into the lineup last week against the Moon Tigers, and he has been an absolute force both last week and this week for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and I think if Kenny White wants to continue to stay in this game, trying to go heads up with Tyrell Barlow isn't the best idea. Kenny White tried to lower his shoulder as he came across the line of scrimmage and met Barlow in the hole, and nothing going for Mr. White.
Nick Ross now in at quarterback, sitting in the pistol. He'll look straight down the field. He has a receiver open in Vandemia, and his pass is incomplete. Coverage on the play by Asheed Page-Jones, and Vandemia had a step on Page-Jones initially, but the pass kind of floated.
Yeah, it did, and Ross saw it right away, and I thought it was a nice ball delivered, but Demia was unable to come up with it. But Asheed Page-Jones really needs to account for the tight ends as they come off the line of scrimmage if he's going to be playing that stronger weak side linebacker.
Saeed Holt ended up coming back and making the play for Woodland Hills in coverage. So it's 3rd down and 9 for West A. As Ross straight drop back, shows some happy feet as he steps to the right-hand side. Pass down that far sideline intended for Vandemia is incomplete, and that will bring up 4th down and 9.
And that time, Amir Collins had the coverage for Woodland Hills and did a great job of just running step for step with Vandemia as he was going down the field.
DJ Upsatnik on to punt it away for West A, as Derrick Caraway is back deep to return for Woodland Hills. 3 receivers to the left as a low snap for Upsatnik, and the Wolverines nearly get a hand on that one, but Upsatnik able to get it away, and the punt will hit off the foot of an Indian right around the 28-yard line. And it will be 1st down and 10 for Woody High at that spot.
And that's exactly the type of series the Woodland Hills defense needed, being down by 18. West Allegheny starting the second half with the football 3 and out certainly can get some momentum put back on their sideline.
Again, this drive for Woodland Hills will start at the 28-yard line. Woodland Hills trailing by 18 points, 31-13. Daniel Jones will stay in at quarterback. Seems like he has earned himself the starting quarterback job and the permanent quarterback job, at least for now. Jones in the pistol, 2 receivers right, wing to the left. Wolverine setting up the count to the left-hand side. Saeed Holt, the ball carrier, running to the left, and he will drive his way forward, crossing the 30, out towards the 32-yard line. And that's Jayquan Hill, not Holt, rather, and it's a pickup of about 4, and it's 2nd down and 6.
That's a nice sign to see Jayquan Hill keep those feet churning as he was coming across the line of scrimmage, still taking on contact, not letting it phase him, and just kept going and picking up some decent yards on 1st down.
Clock winds to 10 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Woodland Hills down 18. 2 receivers come out, set to the left. Now a tight end is on the left of the formation, wing to the right, receiver to the right. Jones feeling pressure as he throws to the left-hand side. The pass intended for Deontay Robertson is incomplete as Jones had a rusher in his face. He had to get rid of it quickly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Deontay Robinson was ready for that ball as it got to him. It slid right through his hands, and normally he's pretty short-handed no matter where the ball's thrown.
That pass intended for Eric Oliver over there on that side, not Deontay Robertson. And, Fred, we haven't made a lot of mention of it, but quite frankly, these jerseys that Woodland Hills has worn over the last 2 seasons have not been the easiest to read.
Yeah, it's kind of tough when you 6, 8, 9 all get bunched up. It's kind of hard to tell what the numbers are.
Jones looking to the right-hand side. The pass, in and out of the hands of Avram Abramovitz. He had the ball in his hands at the 42-yard line, and he may have been thinking about turning the corner and starting to run before he had the ball securely in his mitts.
And number 42 for West Allegheny, Anthony Dellovade, did a great job of coming across the face of Abramovitz as that ball was coming into his hands.
So that will bring up 4th down and 6 for Woodland Hills as Michael Whitehurst will step on to punt. And the Wolverines going to set up the fake. The short snap, and the up man drove himself up towards the 38-yard line, and it will depend on the spot. It looks like from the far side it was enough for the Woodland Hills 1st down, but they'll see where they spot the ball here once all is said and done. It's a 1st down for Woody High.
And that's a gutsy call by Coach Novak. Down 18 points on your half of the field, and to decide to go with a fake punt and pick up the 1st down, like I said, was a very gutsy call.
Saeed Holt, the personal protector for Michael Whitehurst, took that direct snap and was able to pick up 6 yards, enough for the Woodland Hills 1st down. 113 yards on the ground for Saeed Holt today to go along with a couple of touchdowns. 2 receivers to the right, wing to the left. Jones rolling to the right. Feels pressure now. He's going to step up. He's going to throw to the left-hand side, and there's contact, and the flag's going to come in as the pass intended for Avram Abramovitz was a little off the mark. It still had an opportunity for Abramovitz to catch it, but there was contact downfield by the Indians.
And I think number 41, Frankie Mendoza, for West Allegheny is going to get flagged for that. It looked like there was some contact right before the ball got there.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
So 15 yards from the line of scrimmage gives Woodland Hills the football, 1st down and 10 inside of Indians territory at the 47-yard line.
And I personally thought Jones was going to take off and run. He had, wide open field ahead of him, but he, again, has gone to Abramovitz time and time again in situations where he might be single or double or sometimes triple covered.
Noah Ledford was the guilty party there for West Allegheny, number 17. Also back there in coverage was Mendoza, but he did not commit the contact. So it's Jones in the pistol. He will think about pulling a ball out of the midsection of the Woodland Hills tailback, but it didn't seem like tailback Saeed Holt wanted anything to do with that. Now, that's something that we saw Saeed Holt, or rather Jones do last week, pull the ball out of the belly of the tailback, and it worked for Woodland Hills. That time, Holt didn't relinquish the football, and the Wolverines still ended up losing 3 yards.
Well, and Daniel Jones had every right to pull that ball out, considering the defensive end on that side was crashing down, and there was some space around the left end for Jones to run if he so choose. But, again, Saeed Holt didn't look like he wanted to relinquish the football.
Wolverines going to hand off, running to the near side right is Jayquan Hill, and there was just enough contact to Hill to bring him down in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of about 4 back to the 46-yard line, and that will bring up 3rd down and long. Now, Fred, there was a movement along the front here for West Allegheny, and the nose guard breached the neutral zone. Well, now, this isn't college, and this isn't the NFL. You're not allowed to breach the neutral zone and then pull back, and that's exactly what the nose guard did there.
Well, again, even though that's not the case, I still think that Mike McAllister should have snapped the ball once he saw the defensive line in the neutral zone.
Well, after Holt brought down 4 yards deep in the backfield, it's now 3rd down and 17 for Woodland Hills at the 46-yard line. Jones wrapped, carrying off of Indians at first, but then will be brought down near the 34-yard line. And one thing that you can't do against West Allegheny is have slow developing plays, and that is exactly what the Wolverines had there.
Yeah, I thought Caraway was actually going to get the ball, and it probably would have been beneficial if he had, because, with the exception of number 12, E.J. Bauer on that right side, there was really nobody over there. Abramovitz had ran off his corner, and the field was wide open, so I'm not exactly sure why Caraway didn't get the ball on that play.
So Whitehurst on to punt it away here with 6:50 on a winding clock in the 3rd quarter, and the Wolverines facing an 18-point deficit. A low snap, but Whitehurst is able to pick it up, run to his right-hand side, and get the punt away. And the punt will take a Woodland Hills bounce to the 41-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for West A after the ball down by Quintel Palmer.
Yeah, I can't tell if that was just a bad snap by Mike McAllister or if that ball hit off of Saeed Holt, the personal protector, but that was just a really sloppy snap that got back to Mike Whitehurst. But good job of the blocking up front for Woodland Hills to keep West A at bay, so Mikey Whitehurst can get the punt off.
It's a stoppage on the field. That'll give us an opportunity to step away to 6:34 to play in the 3rd quarter. Woodland Hills down 18. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Back to Wolverena.
Set to begin the remainder of the 3rd quarter here with 6:34 to play in the 3rd frame. It's 31-13. West Allegheny leading Woodland Hills. The Indians with the football at the West A 41-yard line. Kenny White, the QB in the Wildcat, running to the left. He's into Woodland Hills territory. He's off to the races. He is going to score. And Woodland Hills is down now 37-13.
Yeah, and there was really nothing fancy about this play. Kenny White took the ball from the Wildcat position and then went around the left side, picked up a nice seal block on the left side, and then once he was in open field, he was on his way to the end zone.
So White off to the races, and he just had one Wolverine to beat, Nazir Taylor, once he got down to the near boundary. And we will see DJ Opsatnik on to take the Wolverine, the West A lead up to 25 points. Nick Ross, the holder. PAT Opsatnik curls in, and with 6:23 to play in quarter number 3, it's 38-13. West Allegheny leading Woodland Hills. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. West Allegheny 38, Woodland Hills 13. The West Allegheny Indians have scored 5 touchdowns today. All 5 of them have come via the big play. A 45-yard touchdown run by Kenny White. Kenny White just running for a 59-yard touchdown run on the last play before the break. And we've also seen 2 50-plus yard touchdown passes from Nick Ross to Brandon Lipford. And the only non-offensive touchdown today for West Allegheny came on a big blocked punt for the Indians. The block by Mendoza and the scoop by Will Weber. And it's 38-13, Woodland Hills down. Loose ball down on the turf, down on the near sideline. Nazir Taylor's going to cover it up for Woodland Hills, and it'll be Wolverines ball at the 38 or 39, or rather 28 or 29 yard line, where the Wolverines will start this drive.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure if the Wolverine defense isn't probably a little tired so far in the second half, even though we're just coming out of halftime. You know, you're on the field already for two drives in this game, and you know the offense really needs to get something sustained and then put some points on the board at the end of the drive.
I'm really not sure that can be much of an excuse, Fred. They were forced to 3 and out on the first drive of the game. West A wasn't able to do much with it, and in fact, they possessed the ball for just 1 minute and 9 seconds on their first drive. But we will see what the Woodland Hills offense can do here as a flag flies before the drive even starts.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Fred, Woodland Hills took a 13-10 lead with about 8 minutes to play in the second quarter, 13-10. And since then, the wheels have come off of the Wolverines.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been really, basically just sloppy tackling, sloppy pursuit angles on a lot of plays against West Allegheny, which is resulting in them putting points on the board.
Jones in the shotgun, pressured as he releases the football, as he looks for Deontay Robertson. The pass is incomplete, and that brings up 2nd and 15.
And right now it just comes down to who wants it more. It just looks like North Allegheny, they see the fact that, the conference championship is right in their lap, and they're just taking advantage of the situation given to them.
Yeah, with a victory today, we said Woodland Hills will clinch at least a share of the conference title. Same is true with West A. Now, should West A win today, they lose for some reason to Moon next week, and Woodland Hills should defeat the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Woodland Hills and West A would still share the conference championship, but West A would get the higher seed in the playoffs. Jones, he's going to hand off. The ball carrier out of the backfield is Jayquan Hill, and he will be brought down at the 22-yard line. And there's a flag down as well against the Wolverines.
Holding on the offense. That penalty is declined. Be third down.
So after no gain on the play, it will remain 3rd down and 15.
Looks like they got number 53, John Robinson, holding on number 33, Brandon Simmons.
So Jones will settle in the pistol with a back behind him. Wing to the right, receiver to the right. One to the left as well. There's Jones' back, and now he's going to step forward as he feels pressure. He'll drive his way up across the 25 to the 27-yard line. He'll pick up about 4, and that'll bring up 4th down and 11.
And West Allegheny's working this delayed blitz to perfection. I'm assuming it's a linebacker. It looks like Dellovade is doing a great job of delaying on his blitz, and then once he does come through the line, he's coming through untouched and wreaking havoc in the backfield for Woodland Hills.
Whitehurst on to punt it away. Good snap. Whitehurst gets a spiraling punt out towards the 46-yard line, which will be returned by Brandon Lipford. Lipford to the near sideline. He will bring it inside of the 35, driving his way towards the 30 before being driven back by a few Wolverines, and they will say his forward progress was to the 31-yard line, where the Indians will start this drive, setting up shop nicely inside of Woodland Hills territory.
And the one thing that Lipford does very well for West A is he sets up his blocks. He's very patient, and then he gets really good blocks downfield and just continues to follow him and picks up good yardage.
Stoppage on the field will step away 5:17 to play in the third quarter. Woodland Hills trails West Allegheny 38-13. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Follow the Woodland Hills Football Network on Facebook, facebook.com/Woodland Hills Football Network. for information about the Wolverines all year long. West Allegheny, straight from the sideline to the line of scrimmage, facing a first down and 10 with the ball at the Woodland Hills 31-yard line. Quarterback Kenny White, who recently scored a 59-yard touchdown, is the QB. He's going to run to the left-hand side. He's going to get to the line of scrimmage where he's brought down by Sheed Page Jones. They'll actually say he's brought down a yard deep in the backfield. A loss of 1 brings up 2nd and 11.
And a good job of the defensive line for Woodland Hills, basically just standing their ground, eating up some offensive linemen for Woodland Hills and letting the linebackers make the play on Kenny White.
2nd and 11 for USC. Or rather for West Allegheny, looking forward to USC next week because, Fred, the way this game's going, I don't think Woodland Hills has much of an opportunity here with 4:37 on a winding clock, and West A shows no signs of letting up.
No, they're not there. I mean, and they shouldn't. Against a team like Woodland Hills, you have to give them your best, and that's exactly what West A is doing.
Lipford throws to the right-hand side, completes the pass to Weber, and Weber is brought down inside of the 15 at the 13-yard line. Tackle on the play by Summers for Woodland Hills, and that is a pickup of 18 yards, and it's 1st and 10 inside of the Woodland Hills red zone.
And again, Lipford in the Wildcat, typically a wide receiver, just threw a nice pass out to the flats to Weber, and then Weber did a great individual effort to pick up the first down.
Brandon Lipford, 2 carries, 36 yards. He also has an 18-yard pass today and has 5 catches for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not a bad day.
Timeout.
So West A takes a timeout.
West Allegheny.
That'll give us an opportunity.
Their first charge
to
timeout of the half.
step away too. With 4:20 to play in the third quarter, Woodland Hills is down by 25 points. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Back at the Wolverena, where Woodland Hills trails West A 38-13. Follow the Woodland Hills Football Network on Twitter, twitter.com/WHFootballNet for updates and info on the Wolverines all year long. West A with the ball, first down and 10 at the Woodland Hills 13-yard line. Lipford in the shotgun, running the quarterback out of the Wildcat, running to the near side. He'll cut inside of the 10, brought down around the 6, a pickup of about 7 as Summers makes another tackle for Woodland Hills.
And West A really is just taking advantage of the athletes that they have. I mean, using Lipford, using Kenny White, and even Nick Ross at quarterback. These guys are just doing a great job of really just maneuvering through the Woodland Hills defense and picking up solid yardage on pretty much every play.
3 carries, 43 yards today for Lipford. White, the QB. Sidecar to his left-hand side, 2 receivers to the right. White feigns right, goes back to the left-hand side. He will cross the 5, dives towards the goal line, and they'll say he's out of bounds at around the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for West Allegheny at the Woodland Hills 1.
And again, Kenny White taking the ball from the Wildcat position. Basically takes a step to the right, and more like a counter, sets up his blockers, and then almost gets in for the touchdown.
West Allegheny going to bring a more traditional offensive set out here on 1st and goal at the 1-yard line as Nick Ross returns to the lineup. Double tight end formation, I backfield behind Ross. And Ross looks like he may have even fumbled the snap there as he falls down to his knees. And they'll unpile, and they'll say it's 2nd down as Ross came out of there with the football. Well, in today's day and age, Fred, it is not common for quarterbacks to step under center, and that's exactly what happened there.
Rolling on the field is that the fumble snap was recovered by the offense. 2nd down.
Steve Hall confirms what we saw from our vantage point, that quarterback Nick Ross fumbled the football and that it was recovered by Nick Ross.
Second and goal. Snap to White.
And White will take the snap and take it into the end zone for a touchdown for West A of 1 yard, and Woodland Hills is down by 31 points.
And this was pretty easy. You know, White had the lead blocker in number 44, Anthony Dellovade, and then just followed him right into the end zone.
DJ Opsatnik to attempt the PAT. Good snap, good hold, kick up, and Opsatnik's kick is good. And with 2:29 to play in the third quarter, West Allegheny leads Woodland Hills 45-13. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 2:29 to play in quarter number 3. West Allegheny has scored 35 unanswered points on Woodland Hills. Wolverines had a 13-10 lead about halfway through quarter number 2. Since then, West Allegheny has opened up a lead of 32 points, 45-13. Fred, I cannot remember in recent days Woodland Hills taking this kind of beating.
No, not letting up this, especially at home too. I don't know if I've ever seen something like this against a Wolverine team at home, letting up this many points.
DJ Opsatnik kicking off for West A. And the kick will bounce into the awaiting arms of Quintel Palmer at the 43-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for Woody High. 2:27 to play. I'll tell you what, Fred, you've got to wonder, would this be a different story if the Wolverines are able to kick that field goal when Chucky Hanchett gets hurt, or if Woodland Hills scores a touchdown on that drive?
Oh, I'm sure it would. I'm sure they would have gave Woodland Hills a lot more confidence going through the second quarter, and not keeping the offense on the field, and the defense probably would have been a little bit more wiser in their pursuit angles and tackling skills.
Jayquan Smith now running the tailback spot for Woodland Hills as he'll carry it out towards the 45-yard line, picking up a couple, and it will be second down and 8 for the Wolverines.
And then again, running the zone read, Daniel Jones gives the ball off to Jayquan Smith after he was looking at the defensive line or cornerback for West Allegheny. Didn't see that there was an open lane for him to run, so decided to give it to Jayquan Smith around the left end.
DJ Bauer on the tackle for West A. As that will bring up second down and 8. Daniel Jones continues to man the quarterback spot for Woody High. Hand off. Jayquan Smith runs right, drives his way towards the 48-yard line for a pickup of 3. Tackle on the play by Matt Holmes, and it is third and 5.
You know, as stunned as we are in the press box, I'm sure the coaches for Woodland Hills have to be equally, if not more, stunned at the performance of the Woodland Hills Wolverines today against the West Allegheny Indians.
Well, you can't take anything away from West Allegheny, but Woodland Hills certainly made their fair share of mistakes, especially on 2 of the long touchdowns by West A today. And so we see Jayquan Smith brought down 3 yards deep in the backfield, back at the 46-yard line, a loss of 3. And Jayquan Smith now has 3 carries for 3 yards in total. And the punt unit will come on again for Woody High. Michael Whitehurst gets off a very nice punt that takes a roll in favor of the Wolverines. Inside of the 20 to the 19-yard line will be first down and 10 for West A, deep inside of their own territory.
You know, one of the typical bright spots for Woodland Hills has been their special teams, and so far that really has let Woodland Hills down today with the 2 block punts and then some nice returnage for West Allegheny against any of the return teams for Woodland Hills.
Since Woodland Hills scored to make it 13-10, their offensive drives have resulted in a block punt returned for a touchdown by West Allegheny, and then a punt, end of the half, and then 3 consecutive punts. High snap off to the right-hand side where Tyler Gallant will catch the snap and run the QB spot for West A. He'll push his way up to the 20-yard line for a gain of 1.
That's the end of the third quarter.
And that'll be the final play of the third frame. We'll head to the fourth and final quarter with a 32-point lead for West Allegheny, 45-13. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 45-13, Woodland Hills trails the West Allegheny Indians. Adam Gusky and Fred Guy on the call for you here on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Second down and 9 for West A. The ball at their own 20-yard line. Make sure you visit the Woodland Hills Football Network website at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com for continuing coverage of the Woodland Hills Wolverines, including links to all of our videos as well as our social media sites. So out of the last 3 weeks, Fred, we have seen some driving rain for these games on Friday nights. It has absolutely been incredible, the kind of rain that we have seen both at North Hills 2 weeks ago and then here again tonight at the Wolverena. And I know when we think back to when we took the field both at Martirelli Stadium or here at the Wolverena, what a difference the playing surface is today compared to when we played back in those mud bowls.
Oh man, those were a lot of fun. I remember distinctly I was at my junior year. We were playing Franklin Regional down here, and I don't think there was a blade of grass on the field after that game was over.
You ever notice, by the way, it always seems to rain on homecoming?
Yeah. Only I remember my sophomore year, it didn't rain. It was very very nice, but we ended up losing the plum on homecoming, which was very sour.
I know 96, my senior season, it poured. We beat North Allegheny that evening, and it absolutely teemed that night.
Yeah, but at least you guys had a chance to clean up and, had a day in between the dance and the game.
It's true. This is true. As a pass over on the near side intended for Mateo Vandemia is incomplete, and that'll bring up third down and 9. That's right, Fred. Thinking back to your sophomore year, that was a few years before the lights. The lights actually didn't come in until the year after you graduated in the 1995 season.
We had to finish the game, go get showered, go get changed, and then go to the dance. Not a lot of time for recuperation in those days.
Complete pass by Ross, incidentally, on that previous play. One of a rare incompletions for him. And now Ross in the shotgun again as he'll look to the left-hand side. He'll complete the screen pass over on that far boundary. And finally, Tyler Gallant is brought down after picking up the West A first down across the 30 to the 33-yard line. It's a pickup of 12 yards on that pass play.
And Gallant has a little bit of do everything for West Allegheny. Was running the quarterback position a couple plays ago, and now he's taking passes into flats from the quarterbacks.
So West Allegheny taking their time in the huddle. Will break the huddle, facing a 1st and 10 at their own 33. Clock winds here with 11:20 to play in regulation. Hand off. The tailback is wrestled down. Will Weber as he gets out to the 40-yard line, picking up 7.
And as I'm looking, it looks like the offensive line is intact for West Allegheny, but Woodland Hills has started to substitute some people along the defensive line and linebacker position.
Second down and 3 for West A. The ball at the 40-yard line. Power pistol, 2 receivers to the left-hand side. And the handoff will go to the tailback, Tyler Gallant, and Gallant will drive his way out to the 45-yard line, picking up 5, and it is 1st and 10 for West Allegheny as Gallant now has lined up at QB, running back and receiver.
And Gallant just took the ball right up the middle of the field. He had a huge hole in the heart of that Wolverine defense and did a good job of picking up the 1st down.
Clock winds to 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Woodland Hills down by 32 points here, 45-13. Wolverines en route to their first conference loss of the season, while West Allegheny well on their way to remaining undefeated within conference play, as again Tyler Gallant carries this ball into Woodland Hills territory for a pickup of 15 yards to the Woody High 40-yard line.
You know, and that's something we haven't said a lot over the past couple seasons is the Wolverines on their way to a conference loss. You know, last year they pretty much ran the table in the Southeastern Conference and were pretty successful in 2014 as well.
Yeah, a season ago, Woodland Hills Conference champions, undefeated through the regular season, made it all the way to the WPIAL semifinals before ultimately losing to state champion Pittsburgh Central Catholic. And of course, the reclassification in the offseason pushed Pittsburgh Central Catholic to 6A with a lot of other teams with higher enrollments, while Woodland Hills, Upper St. Clair, and the like are now in 5A. As West A uses up as much time as possible, they take a timeout. That'll give us an opportunity to step away too with 9 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. 45-13 is the score. West Allegheny leading Woodland Hills. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Back in Turtle Creek, where Woodland Hills trails the West Allegheny Indians 45-13. Adam Gusky, Fred Guy on the call for you here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. Good to have you along with us all across the Woodland Hills Football Network. Next week, Woodland Hills taking on the Upper St. Clair Panthers. Big conference game for both of those teams. As Upper St. Clair, you have to assume if they get the victory tonight, wants to remain with just one conference loss, while Woodland Hills will want to do the same as they take on the old conference foe out of the SEC, Upper St. Clair.
And it seems like that's going to be the, basically the 2nd place finisher out of the Allegheny 9. So, both of these teams still have something to work for because there is a home playoff game associated with that 2nd seed.
And the ball handed off to Tyler Gallant, and he will carry the ball inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And very valid point there, Fred. That game next week has huge implications for a home game in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. Woodland Hills wins, they get a home game. Upper St. Clair wins, they get the home game. And you certainly don't want to go on the road for the first round of the WPIAL playoffs, especially considering there are only 3 rounds of the playoffs now as compared to what it used to be with 4.
Yeah, I don't recall Woodland Hills. Well, I can't say I don't recall because I think Mount Lebanon in 2011 was the last time Woodland Hills had gone on the road in the first round of the playoffs. But Adam, I did hear some talk on MSA Sports about not doing a crossover type of situation where the 2-3 seeds might, from their own conference, actually might play each other in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I do understand that in all likelihood the WPIAL will consider 2 and 3 from the same conference playing each other, which I think is pretty interesting.
Well, personally, I don't think it would be interesting in the Woodland Hills situation because you're probably looking at a Upper St. Clair Woodland Hills rematch from Week 11 or Week 10.
And I don't think that necessarily would be the case in that circumstance. You may see, because of that particular circumstance, the number 3 team out of the Allegheny 9 playing the number 2 team out of the Big East and vice versa. Another big carry there for Logan Scheider as he continues to carry the load for West A. Scheider with a pickup of about 8, and it is 1st and 10 for West A, the ball at the 25-yard line. Handoff will go to Tyler Gallant, and Gallant inside of the 10, inside of the 5, and he will be forced out of bounds down near the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for West A on that pickup of 20-plus yards.
And Gallant just took the ball off of the right side, picked up some nice blocking from his offensive lineman, made a couple people miss, and then almost took the ball into the end zone for a touchdown.
They'll spot the ball at the 4-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 4, a pickup of 21 for Gallant, and he now has 44 yards unofficially. 45-13, West Allegheny leads the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Cam Cruz, the quarterback for West A. He'll hand off to Gallant, who will take it into the end zone for a West Allegheny touchdown. And the Indians extend their lead to 51-13. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, Fred, and say for the first time in program history, Woodland Hills has allowed 50 points.
Yeah, I've been around Woodland Hills football since it started in 1987 as a kid. Came to a lot of home games. I don't ever remember anybody dropping 50 points against Woodland Hills, and especially here at the Wolverena.
Yeah, I really do think that this is the most points ever allowed by a Woodland Hills team. PAT up and in for West Allegheny as their reserve kicker, Adam Dolan, splits the uprights there with 6:39 to play in quarter number 4. It's 52-13, West Allegheny on top of Woodland Hills. You're tuned into the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. .6:39 to play in the 4th quarter. 52-13, West Allegheny leads the Woodland Hills Wolverines. That's Tyler Gallant scoring the most recent touchdown. And Fred, as we said before the break, we're going to go out on a limb without a record book in front of us, and we are going to assume that this is the first time in program history in 30 years of Woodland Hills football that Woodland Hills has allowed 50 points in a football game.
I can't remember it ever happening. Certainly not as a player or, before that as I watched as a kid coming up through the midget league ranks. But you really have to take your hat off to West Allegheny. I mean, they've done everything that they possibly could to stymie this Wolverine team pretty much since the midway through the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, Woodland Hills at that point held a 13-10 lead, but since then West Allegheny has ripped off 42 unanswered points. So West A will bring down a Wolverine out of bounds on that far sideline. Craig Prince was tackled out of bounds over there on that far boundary. And as he was brought down out of bounds, he was done so in an illegal fashion, and the penalty is going to go against
After
West
the
A.
play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the return, first down Woodland Hills.
So this drive for Woodland Hills will start at the 35-yard line with 6:21 to play. By the way, this is the first time, I know for a fact, that this is the first time since the modified timekeeping system has been instituted that it will be instituted against Woodland Hills.
Since I'm a silver lining kind of guy, I'm going to basically just say that, you learn a lot. I think you learn more from losing than you do from winning, and I think Woodland Hills is going to have to take a lot away from this game if they're going to want to be successful next week against Upper St. Clair.
I can't disagree with you whatsoever. And, Jaden Lucas carries the ball there for Woodland Hills for no gain. We look back to last week and the week prior. We talked about how Woodland Hills faced adversity and was able to overcome said adversity. We saw the same thing happen here today, at least in the early goings. We saw Woodland Hills rip off that 64-yard touchdown by Saeed Holt. West A answered right back. The Wolverines drove it all the way down the field on West Allegheny, and their kicker, Charles Hanchett, got hurt, and the Wolverines ended up coming out of there with no points. West A answered with a field goal of their own as the ball comes to the near sideline. The ball carrier is Jeffrey Williams, and Williams will be brought down along the near boundary after picking up a first down for the Wolverines at a gain of 11. But getting back to what I was talking about with early in the football game, the Wolverines saw West Allegheny take that 10-7 lead. Woodland Hills then answered back, Fred, as they went on another pretty decent drive covering 51 yards, and it was capped off by a 23-yard touchdown run by Saeed Holt. Now, while the two-point conversion failed, and West Allegheny went on to rip off 42 consecutive points, the Wolverines at that point in this football game, I think, had kind of knocked West A on their heels for the first time this season.
Yeah, and then, but the thing of it is, the wide receiver screen to Lipford kind of took the wind out of the sails of Woodland Hills, because it's been all downhill ever since. I mean, again, poor tackling, sloppy angles, and a tremendous effort, individual effort by Lipford, really is what did Woodland Hills in this ballgame.
Yeah, that wide receiver screen on 3rd and 22 that ended up covering 59 yards and a touchdown for West A really ended up costing Woodland Hills a whole heck of a lot in that football game, more than 7 points. I think it was a very demoralizing type of play as this ball carrier for Woody High, Seth Beadle, is brought down a handful of yards deep in the backfield.
And yeah, I mean, that play really defined the defense and the team for Woodland Hills. But I mean, what you saw on that play, I mean, it was, again, a tremendous effort and poor tackling combined to make an absolutely fantastic play.
Then there was the blocked punt by West Allegheny that was scooped up in the end zone by Will Weber. That extended the West A lead to 11 points. And the Wolverines, not able to do anything offensively, punted it back to West A. As Izzy Reed goes to the air, he finds the freshman tight end across the middle, Joshua Rawlings, and Rawlings will be brought down right around the West A 45-yard line. It will be a pickup of about 13 yards for Woody High, but it'll bring up 4th down and 1.
And Joshua Rawlings has some impressive stats. 6'5", 205-pound tight end. Nice catch. Did a great job of trying to pick up the first down, but nice completion.
That's actually a gain of 18 on 13. Is my math a bit off. But after that blocked punt, and then the Wolverines punted it back to West Allegheny, we then saw Woodland Hills yet again allow Lipford to go off to the races, and that's where we saw the not so much poor tackling but the poor pursuit angles that ended up turning into another West Allegheny touchdown, as though the Wolverines going to turn it over on downs as Anthony Bullock Meredith is met at the line of scrimmage and driven back.
Yeah, and basically all that play was a 15-yard in route by Lipford. Ross did a great job of hitting him in stride. Had a little collision between Nazir Taylor and Saeed Holt, and then, Lipford is pretty impressive in terms of once he gets his hands on the ball and starts running, he is able to make people miss. Again, attributed to some poor tackling and bad angles.
So West Allegheny will start this drive at their own 45-yard line. And they will bring the victory formation out onto the field here as we are in the modified timekeeping system. A couple of kneel downs, and that'll do it here for West Allegheny as they will defeat the Woodland Hills Wolverines by a final score of 52-13. A 41-point win for West A, and a lot of firsts here today. I don't think Woodland Hills has ever been defeated by 40-plus points. I don't think Woodland Hills has ever allowed 50-plus points in a game, and I know for a fact that Woodland Hills has never allowed their opponent to force the modified timekeeping system, or what is commonly known as the mercy rule.
Not a lot of good firsts that happened today in this ball game.
That is for sure. And, certainly not what we had hoped for in a game that we thought was going to go a long way, hopefully for the Wolverines, in deciding the Allegheny 9 Conference Championship. Meanwhile, West Allegheny has clinched at least a share of the Allegheny 9 Conference title with this 41-point win over Woodland Hills today.
And the most impressive part of West A, I mean, we talked a lot about their offense, but man, did their defense really step it up after the second touchdown by Saeed Holt. Just did a tremendous job of keeping the Woodland Hills offense in check. They let up some big running plays, let up some big pass plays, but they did not let that affect them and their pursuit in this ball game at all.
Incidentally, nobody ever said I was a math major. The difference is 39 points, not 41 points. 52 minus 13 is 39 points. Either way, I don't think Woodland Hills has faced many 39-point deficits in their day.
No, not too many that I can recall.
Again, 52-13 is the final score as Woodland Hills falls to the West Allegheny Indians here in Turtle Creek, Pennsylvania. Next week, Woodland Hills will take on Upper St. Clair in a game that will be pivotal for both teams, as both teams want to make sure they clinch a home game in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. Fred, give us your final thoughts for our TV audience.
Great. I mean, tremendous defensive effort by West A. I mean, it didn't seem like Woodland Hills had much in the tank after West A went up big. They couldn't find that, that heart and deep down, thing that you use to get yourself back into this ball game. They just didn't have tonight, and that's accredited to the coaching staff, Bob Palpko and his coaching staff at West Allegheny.
Woodland Hills will take on Upper St. Clair next Friday night. The kickoff will be at 7 o'clock. Our coverage will start on the MSA Sports Network at 6:35. Our coverage on Facebook and on YouTube will start at 6:55. And, of course, we will have television replays on all of our TV affiliates and on our YouTube channel. A very tough loss for Woodland Hills tonight as the Wolverines fall 52-13 to the West Allegheny Indians in this Allegheny 9 conference matchup. Folks watching on TV or on our social media sites, we thank you for joining us tonight. Our coverage will end here. For Fred Guy, I'm Adam Gusky. You've been tuned in to the Wolverines and the Indians on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Fans, the 2016 Great American Rivalry Series presented by the United States Marines would now like to honor tonight's most valuable player.